Welcome to We're the Harrises. We have current NFL star Shelby Harris, and we have perennial Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion Chris Harris Jr., and myself, a 10-year veteran and champion alongside Chris Harris Jr. Well, fellas, we got to talk about the biggest win of Week 12. No, we're not talking about the 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. No, we're not talking about the Giants, and no, we're not talking about the Chiefs. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns behind DeShon Sanders gets a huge win off the backs of the defense too. Shelby, the room is yours. Where do you want to go first?
Man, I just want to say, how about that spark? How about that spark? You know, we saw some energy. We saw some, juice that we haven't seen from our offense all season long. You know what else we saw? We saw a little bit of swag. We saw a little bit of that juice, that feeling that, you can't mess with us. You know what I mean? And that's what we've been missing all year. And so props to Shedeur for bringing that extra energy and just bringing that mindset that you can't mess with us. And it worked out. Obviously, it wasn't the best game from him, but it was exactly what we needed on defense to win that game. Because when you go out there, the defense, and put up 10 sacks, 10 of them things, man, he's supposed to come out there with a win, baby. And that's exactly what we did. So shout out to the offense for doing their part, scoring the points that we needed to really, obviously get the win. But, man, if we're going to talk about anything, we got to talk about that defense. And that defense was humming all game long. So that was a great game just to play. And also, it's always great to get revenge on a coach that cut you and act like you were nothing. So, sorry, Pete. That's what we had to do. We had to go out there and get that dub, you feel me? But other than that, man, it was just great. It felt good to see the offense actually just look like they were having fun again.
Yeah, I give him a B. I thought he was calm. He was confident in the pocket. And that's what it takes, man, when you have that quarterback. You got to be able to have belief that you can win the game. And I felt like everybody had that belief in them. The game plan was up and down, I thought there was some other opportunities that Stefanski could have got him a little bit more on some bootlegs. Boot him to the right. He had him going a lot of boots and play actions to the left. Let's get him going to the other side. We see when he could roll right. He threw that bomb. I wish the guy would have stayed on his feet. That would have been another touchdown right before they brought in the Wildcat. But he did his job. I definitely see some improvement from the week before. 2 weeks really of play from him, and he just continuing to get better. So I think that they should definitely move on from Dillon. I'm glad that Shedeur is getting another chance to start. And if he can keep this formula, let's get points early. Let's start fast. Then the defense can come out and get 10 sacks, because if they didn't start fast like that, we don't know what Myles Garrett does that day. So being able to start fast is the formula for the Browns, so they can let that defense go, and them sacks will come.
Hey, first of all, yes, congratulations, DeShon Sanders. And 10 sacks, I mean, that is – if you're running if you're lucky enough to run 70 plays, which you're not if you get sacked 10 times, you that's like a sack every fourth play of the game. Mm-hmm. That's a sack every fifth, sixth. I mean, and those are physical things. So just the fact that 10 sacks is like Notre Dame putting up 70 points. You know what I mean? It's like it's just it just doesn't happen much. So I really wanted to make sure we celebrate 10 sacks. Shelby, that's incredible. And
man, it's a great feat. And one person I feel bad for is Geno. Geno looked like he was getting killed back there. I'm talking about it was a couple of plays. He's just laying there holding himself. I'm like, man, y'all better block for this, man, because that's one thing. Geno going to compete. He going to talk his trash. He going to go out there and try to do everything he can do. But he can't protect himself. And that's where they failed him at that day.
Man, you guys had so many sacks, you fired the offensive coordinator. That's crazy. I mean, hey, man, you ain't got the right protection. That's all we got, Chip Kelly. Sorry, we don't know what else to say to you. But hey, when it comes to DeShon Sanders, I love the decision-making he made in the game. Now, he made some plays that it's going to take some time. But one of the things he said after the game really shook me. He said, hey, that's off of 1 week of practice. Now, he's been there for longer than 1 week of practice. So that's either the coaches not getting their backups ready to play, Kevin Stefanski, that's a problem, or he's not paying attention in the meeting, or it could be both. So I'm glad that he had 1 week of practice here in the 12th week of the season, and he's got the twitch to go. He's making those decisions quick. I'm just happy for DeShon Sanders, and finally Cleveland has a quarterback that acts like they want to be there.
Yeah, but like what I want to make sure everyone kind of understands, and obviously that talk about Shedeur not getting reps, that's normal if you're the third string quarterback. We all know that the third string quarterback is not going to get many first team reps during the season.
But when he's the backup, he needs
But when
to.
he becomes the backup.
Yeah, that's the problem, you know?
So, but now he's getting his reps, and I think the biggest thing that we saw was there was improvement from him getting thrown in there the week before to him actually getting a full week of preparation. So your idea has to be the sky is going to be the limit, and we're going to see really over the next couple of weeks what this kid can do. And we got a good test coming up with the 49ers.
What about Jeudy? Right, him coughing up that ball. You know, he's looking to sell himself. I know you not have a consistent quarterback, but you know the play that he's showing me that was a great trade by the Broncos. And looking at Dylan Sampson, this guy, you know, you give him a little crease, he can take it all away, right? And you need some playmakers like that on their offense. Bond, right? Those two are Blazers, right? So y'all do have some weapons out there that can kind of replace Jeudy. But I think Stefanski and Jeudy, they might be looking at the exit sign in a couple weeks.
I think the biggest thing they need we all need each other. You know what I mean? I think we all need each other, and I think obviously the offense has struggled a little bit this season. I think as we go on the rest of the season, I think you're going to get the best game out of everybody on offense. I think you're going to start seeing everybody kind of gel, everybody get that cohesion to go out there and play together. And we're going to see Jeudy explode. We're going to see Samp explode. We're going to see Quinshon explode. We're going to see the offense actually, you know, getting first downs, and you're going to see people actually be productive. And I think that's what we see as the future of the Cleveland Browns offense.
His name is Senator Shelby Harris, the
hype
diplomatic answer right there. I mean, hey, if you're looking for Jerry Jeudy to be a professional, you haven't been watching his career. He is a talent. No one's disagreeing with that. And he's a talent that doesn't pay attention to the details and going to cost you in games. He almost cost the Browns a game. I mean, could you imagine if that was the play that cost DeShon Sanders his first win and all this excitement? So he's got to lock in. I'm tired of saying it. Happy for the Browns. The defense had an offense make money off of their success, and then the offense actually had a quarterback that wanted to be there. What a time to be a Cleveland Browns fan. And how long has it been since we said that now? Since Brady Quinn got drafted?
Yeah, but the crazy part, and what I really want people to realize, this next game against the 49ers, obviously it's a Thanksgiving game. And with Shedeur starting, I expect it actually to be packed. You know, we've been like, obviously with our record, we've been struggling with the attendance, and now there's been a lot of empty seats. But that's one thing that Shedeur does. He brings the excitement back to the city. You know, people want to come see him play. And so against the 49ers, I expect it to be a loud, vibrant crowd. And it's going to be a great game where crowd noise is actually going to be a problem. Teams are going to have to go silent count. And I think it's going to be a great game for the Cleveland Browns.
What about Myles Garrett? You know, on pace to break the record. Not even break it, shatter the record. Right? Looking unblockable. You know, at this rate, it looks like he can almost get 30 sacks. And we haven't seen a guy. I haven't seen him be one-on-one so much like I did versus the Raiders. It was like, what is your game plan today? And he was killing that left tackle all day. So I think he's putting on a historical year. He's about to shatter the record, pretty much stamp his name as the best defensive player there in the league. And man, it's a beautiful thing watching this guy just dominate. You know, doing everything, getting off the ball fast. The one sack that he had, he just slammed the guy through and was able to come from behind and get Geno in the ball. You know, he's just out here. He's just so dominant this year. He damn near is taking a pay cut. You know, pay this guy 50. You know, he needs to get paid like a quarterback.
You're not wrong, though, Chris. Game record. You got to know exactly where he is. And this is probably the first game all year where a team has been like, we're going to block you one-on-one.
I can't believe it.
We're going to block you one-on-one. But, like, the Raiders have shown that. And that's one thing I will give them respect. They have shown that throughout the year, that they don't really do a lot of chips. They're not going to do a bunch of slides and stuff. They really don't give their tackles that much help. And they didn't. And Myles is now 3 sacks closer to the record. You see what I'm saying? So, for me, not even talking about, you know, the Raider game or anything like that, I just think it's a cool experience to be a part of this. You know what I mean? I was there my first year when he won Defensive Player of the Year, to be a part of that, like to be on the field and be a part of the success. And to be here right now with him chasing the record like this and to see it, This is stories I'll be able to tell my kids to be able to, go around. If I ever got into like high school coaching, I'd be like, man, the craziest year I ever saw was Myles Garrett when he got to 30. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that, where I just think these numbers sound great, but we got to really appreciate what's really happening in front of us. This is a record that stood for years. And even before that, years before that, before Strahan broke it. Like this is a special record that we think about all the special pass rushers we've seen in this league who have not been able to get to this. So just to be a part of this, I think it's such a cool experience. And it's just every second I'm just like, wow, like this shit is unreal. It's just like every time this shit is unreal. So this is a great thing to be a part of.
The thing, he played so well. If I'm an offensive tackle coming up against him this week, I'm going to take that film. I'm going to have the video guys come up with the clips of all his work against the Raiders, show it to my old coordinator, say, now remember, this old coordinator left their tackle one-on-one, got fired before he got back. You go ahead and draw up that game plan. I mean, that's the kind of all-hands-on-deck problem that every offense has facing this Cleveland Browns defense. But, Shelby, you get to see it day in and day out. And one of the things that the three of us know, when the greats perform, it's not a surprise to anybody who has seen them work. What does Myles Garrett's work look like when no one's watching?
Well, I'm not how do I explain this? I'm not somebody to hype people up. I usually try to talk shit, bring them down. That's me as a person. But when I say I probably have seen him lose 2 reps all year. I'm not even bullshit. I've seen him lose 2 reps all year. Maybe 2 reps. And one of them was just like the first rep of a joint practice where you just kind of get a feel for it. Other than that, it's just something you don't see him lose. But then I always tell people it's the perfect epitome of the way you practice is the way you're going to play. He goes out there, he balls out during practice, he wins all his reps in practice, he's working his craft during practice, he goes out there in the game, he whoops that ass.
But is it the hands? Is it the get off? What does he work on more that people don't see that makes him so good?
It's the get off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's the get off. It's that first initial step, because right there, you make him panic. You get up on him, you get up, you pretty much, the way it works is this, your get off. Your first step is quicker than theirs. And so then now they have to panic because you're already in their chest. You don't know what to do. But the thing is, Myles Garrett runs a low 4.5, 35-inch arms. You know what I mean? It's unfair for the old lineman when the guy is getting off before you are, and you know the snap count. You know the snap count, and Myles Garrett is right there getting off right with you, and you're supposed to backpedal, and he's full on sprinting. So right there, like, it's unfair, but just watching the way he works, it's the one thing I always say about him is his hands are always active. Even if you don't realize it, they're always active. They're always getting hands off of him, and that's just the way he runs. And it's just it's truly something special to watch every day.
Myles Garrett is great. I don't want to sound like a hater, but the O-line play in the league is probably the worst. The last
by far.
I retired, or even
by
before
far.
then, it was bad.
By far.
The O-line play is the worst this has ever been. So I mean, I love Myles Garrett and what he's doing, but come on, O-line guy, we got an O-line guru over here.
Hey, here's the problem. Here's the problem. You guys want to talk about the O-line play. O-line play is the easiest thing to coach. The problem is the majority of NFL teams don't have a former offensive lineman coaching the offensive line. Could you imagine a quarterback coach never playing quarterback? Like, that doesn't happen. How about it? Hey, how many DB coaches did you have, Chris, that didn't play DB or safety or linebacker? Yeah. Shelby, do you have only non-playing coaches? I mean, that's what happens.
I had a coach. Who was terrible.
How did it go? He
was terrible. One of the worst coaches I've ever had.
And I guarantee you right now that over 15 teams in the NFL have a very good O-line coach who never played the game. So they say stupid stuff like, hey, you got to reach Shelby Harris. Reach your hat across and then grab him with your back arm. Are you out of your mind? If I put my hat across and lean across Shelby Harris, I'm getting lifted like John Legend, okay? Come on, man. So, yes, the offensive line play needs improvement. I directly blame the head coaches of NFL teams, hire offensive line coaches who played the game. The Denver Broncos say hello, atop of the AFC. Well, what do they have? An offensive line coach who actually played the game. Oh, wow. So you might be right, Chris, but blame the coaches. That's what I got to say.
I think it's deeper than that, Ryan. I think it's deeper than that. I'm going to just go off of this real quick. It starts in college. It starts
Oh,
in college. They don't know how to teach physical play in college because all we do is just drop back and throw the ball 50 times a game in college. But
Well,
when you get to the league, you have to learn how to run block. That is the most important part of the game in the NFL is running the ball. And so that's why you see these teams just give up on the run because their guys can't do it. The guys just can't do it. I know teams that were literally switched up their scheme because one player can't do what they need them to do. And so that's the issue is that we're bringing these players in from college and we're allowing them to be mediocre at the thing that they're supposed to be the best at. And that's why blocking today is so trash. And I've been saying this, O-line play has been falling year after year after year in the NFL. And it's going to keep getting worse until you get better coaching in college. I'm a big believer college is the issue, not necessarily the NFL. Because once you get to the NFL, yes, you're right. You're supposed to have these coaches that actually help you build yourself and become a better player. People don't realize like we always talk about, these coaches suck. A lot of these coaches suck in the league. Not very good. And so when you have a player that comes in that needs to be developed, you don't have a coach that actually can do the developing. So this is why you see such up and down O-line play all over the place.
At least we got a good matchup this week with the 49ers, Trent Williams versus Myles Garrett. It's not the same Trent Williams, but, he's the best. He's the best that we got out there still to this day, right? It's not a lot of competition out there. A lot of the solid left tackles are hurt. And it's just not the name. They don't have the names behind them. The cliche, the accolades at the left tackle in this league right now. Bowles is the number one guy, right?
Yeah.
If we just be honest,
he's balling now.
He's the number one guy right now. So, the O-line play is not very good, but I will like the matchup, though, this week, Trent Williams versus Myles Garrett.
And we do know one thing. Trent Williams does not want to be on that highlight reel, right? And Trent, I don't care if Trent's hurting. He's telling everybody, hey, Thanksgiving, hey, I'll see you after the game. We're not doing this. I mean, everybody's had those games where you're going against a legend, and it's going to take everything. Trent Williams getting ready right now.
It's going to be a great matchup. And it's one, the last time we played them 2 years ago, when they came to Cleveland again and we won, Trent got hurt. And the one thing I realized, I was like, oh, Myles is different. Myles was like, damn, I don't like that. He wants to go against the best. He wants to go against the best. He's not sitting there just trying to go get stats against backups. He wants to go against the best because if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's the mindset you got to have if you want to be that guy. As we move to second down, this is probably the best week in the league when it came to comebacks. Ryan, Chris, what were your thoughts about all the games this week and all the good comebacks?
Hey, let's just start with unwavering belief. Let's talk about Jameis Winston getting that touchdown catch and to get back in the end zone. Come on, man. Hey, I don't know who that young linebacker is, but he's fired. Okay, you got Jameis Winston doing that to you. You're fired. And then you got the Chiefs. That was such a must-win. I don't think people realize how bad the Chiefs needed that game. They're now in the playoffs to me with that win because that's something where, if they lose that game, they're out. They won the game, did what they had to do, especially in that fourth quarter. So I'm happy for my old coach, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. But the Cowboys, I think, got America's heart. For whatever reason, we like seeing the Eagles lose, and the Cowboys dug it out. And then lastly, the Jaguars, you better look out for this team. These guys are here to win a Super Bowl, and no one's paying attention.
Yeah, the Giants, they do what they always do. Bad teams always fall apart at the end, and that's what they've done the whole season. And now Sharon Bowen is fired. Dabo's gone, so it's a whole new organization. They got to start over from scratch, right, with Jackson Dart. But Jameis, balling, went out there and threw a dot. 50-yard bomb, and then comes back and catches a touchdown and shows his athleticism. What did he say? He said, I'm an athlete. I can play every position. So it cracks me up when he does his interview. But just in the Chiefs, just being clutch in the end because the whole game, I'm like, they're done. There's no way that they're coming back. And the Colts let them off the hook. They didn't finish the game. Patrick Mahomes started dialing them up, crossing routes. Great play calling by Andy Reid, and Rice started getting open, man. So the Chiefs are still in it. They still got a chance. And I hate to say it. I wish they were done, man. I was counting on the Colts to clean them up this week, but they couldn't hold them off, man. But the Jags, like you said, they're a scary team. Their defense plays tough. Trevor Lawrence plays tough at the end. He doesn't play good all game, but into the fourth quarter, he plays pretty solid. And so I'll give him credit on that. But I do like the Jaguars defense. I do like the what's the head coach, Cohen? I do like him.
Yeah, Liam Cohen.
Solid coach. I think he gives them good motivation. So it's not the same old Jags. But I wouldn't just say that the Colts aren't going to win that division. I got them winning that division.
Ooh.
And the Giants being done, their season's over with. But the Cowboys do have a chance if they can win these next two games. Next two games, I think they got a chance to make the playoffs.
Man, I'm just a big believer of I just want to see Jameis Winston be successful.
Oh, man.
You know, as a former teammate of his, he's one of my all-time favorite teammates. And, obviously he gives us clip after clip after clip of just genuine Jameis funny stuff. But, just also I just want to see him have the success on the football field. I want him, and he's throwing touchdowns and stiff arming people, doing all that stuff.
Come on, man.
But I want to see him get some wins. I want to see some wins come his way. And obviously wins are a team sport, so the Giants got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the Giants really got to figure it out with that game out. They had the lead and they gave it up. And the one thing I said out of all these games, out of the teams that had the lead, you know what they did wrong? They stopped running the ball.
Hello.
They stopped running the ball. The clear in point, the Eagles against the Cowboys. How do you have the offensive player of the year in Saquon Barkley, and then you don't hand him the ball when you're up, and you just keep throwing it and throwing it? And just, what do you expect to happen? You're saving clock for the Cowboys and for all these other teams to come back. And we talk about the Chiefs. The Colts were up 20-9 in the fourth quarter and lost. And you know how that happens? If you don't run the ball. like you got to race the clock. And that's the thing. These teams try to get so, different and not, we're going to hit them with play action on first down. No, just run the ball. Just run the ball, keep the clock moving. And that's the theme of every one of these games. The team that had the lead refused to run the ball, got too cute with it, and these other teams came back. And I think right now we're seeing in the league, if you don't have a legit run game, and if you get scared of that run game, you're going to lose the game. These defenses are too athletic. They're too good just to watch you just drop back and throw the ball over and over and over again. You have to commit to the run, and all these losing teams didn't.
You're 100% right, Shelby. Here's my thing. You guys tell me, you're on defense. How devastating is a 3rd and 4 run for a first down? Right? Like, you don't actually have to pass the ball if you don't want to, right? Especially when you have a lead. If I run 3 straight run plays, and after that first down, I'm waiting to snap the ball until 5 seconds. I mean, we're a minute and a half through further, or you had to use at least a timeout. This is just, it's not rocket science. It's basic football, something that drives players nuts when you lose a game like that. That's how you lose a locker room in Indianapolis, doing stupid stuff like that, right? I mean, you're on the road about to put the Chiefs out, and you whiffed. That's you're not going to get that chance again. You're just not. It hasn't been around for 10 years. Probably won't come around for another 10. So coaches have to run the ball. #RTB. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you got to be worried about? Go ahead, Chris.
It's playoff time, right? You got to be able to run the football and play great defense and play it for 4 quarters. A lot of these teams are playing good defense for 3 quarters, or they're not finishing the game. And on the Colts side, what's going to happen when you can't run the football, and we got to count on Daniel Jones to win us a game, win us the playoff game. I don't know if they can do it. I don't have confidence in Daniel Jones to get them over the hump on his own if Jonathan Taylor's not running the football. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down who's going to be that clutch quarterback to be able to get guys over the hump around this time period, right? Of course, you need a good, solid run game. But at the end of the day, we know when the clutch time comes in December, January, around playoffs, that quarterback it's on him, right? He has to make the key plays at the end of the game, and I just don't trust the Colts. I trust them to win the division, but that's about it.
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know this, and this is something you need to watch going into this, because right now for the Kansas City Chiefs, every game is a playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
Every game is almost a win or go home. They have to pretty much win almost every game. That will be scary if they make the playoffs, because they will be battle tested by the time the playoffs come, and you have a Pat Mahomes coming back, and you have a Pacheco that will come back. Like, that is going to be scary. So if you want to get rid of the Chiefs, you gotta beat them now. You gotta beat them now and keep them out of the playoffs. Because if they make the playoffs, they're going to make a run.
Now let's get into third down. We got some quarterbacks that are starting to show up on the injury list. We got Baker Mayfield, hurting that same shoulder that he's had in the past against the Rams, trying to take that long Hail Mary shot, kind of threw out his arm. Joe Burrow, you see him practicing. They're saying he's expected to start. We also got J.J. McCarthy in concussion protocol. I think Dillon Gabriel's out of concussion protocol now, but Shador's getting a start, and Lamar with an injured toe. What do y'all think about the quarterbacks with these injuries going on right now?
Right now, this is the crunch time, and to be losing your starting quarterback or to have your starting quarterback be ailing like this, spooky time. We'll see how well you prepared your backups. Because I'll tell you this, Tampa Bay, you need Baker. You need Baker. Baltimore, you need Lamar, as we saw, earlier in the season. We know the Bengals need Joe Burrow, and that's the only thing. Like the words is like, oh, should Joe Burrow even come back, right? The thing that makes it that they should come back is because the AFC North is clustered right now. Everybody's literally still within 2-3 games of each other. So anybody can still win the AFC North. It's all up for grabs. And Joe Burrow missed about the last 5 weeks with a toe. So we'll see. But right now, what we're going to see around the league is who has the best backup quarterbacks. Because when you have these guys that are injured, these games are still must-wins for these teams. Tampa Bay, before they were cruising. Now they've lost 3 straight. They need to get a win. If Baker's out, you got to trust the backup. So we'll see. But a lot of these teams and what we see around the league year in, year out, is they don't actually bring in a backup that can go in and actually get you a win.
Hello.
They don't bring in a quarterback they actually believe is somebody that's going to play. It's a coach's friend. You know what I mean? It's always some type of connection, but when it comes down to it, they got to go out to the game and they look terrible. So we'll see which team is the best equipped to go out and get wins if any of these quarterbacks are actually hurt. But it's going to be a scary time now if you didn't prepare that backup.
Yeah, hey, look, that backup quarterback position, you're talking about teams like Miami. I mean, Cincinnati, how many times have you been here and had somebody who can't win? I know Browning's been okay and things like that, but you need a guy who's a young and up-and-comer. Even if you use a second-round pick or a third-round pick every 3 years, you need a guy who could come in and play. But to me, the biggest issue quarterback-wise in the group you said, number one, you're absolutely right. Tampa Bay needs Baker Mayfield. He just brings far more than a quarterback to that position, and it's tough for me. I'm feeling for him because that's a short quarterback who's doing everything he can to prove that story in history wrong, and he's balling. But they need him. J.J. McCarthy, you got to figure it out. I don't know what else to say. The ups and severe downs, it's tough because you don't have a kind of a premier type running back there that can help you out in terms of the run game, and you got to make better throws on the road and know what kind of games you're in against the Packers. But I'll tell you something else. Joe Burrow coming back is real. From the people I've talked to who are close in that building, they think he's coming back. And the fact that division is up for grabs is insane. I mean, would somebody please go win the AFC North? Who wants it? Come on, Shelby. Somebody's got to go grab that thing. So I think you're coming. I think you're coming back if you're Joe Burrow. And your whole message is, boys, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Get on board. Follow me.
Well, Joe Burrow said the main reason why he come back is because the division is wide open. He still has a chance to win it. And as long as he has a chance, he's going to try to come back and play, especially for this team. He probably already feels bad, like, hey, man, me going down, it kind of killed the year already. So he's like, man, I'm trying to get back and play. And at least give some guys some spark. But Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he can get it done. They do have a favorable schedule, though, with the Bucs to still be able to win the division over there. But you see what the Panthers did. They let a great opportunity go last night versus the 49ers. I think their defense made a lot of plays, but, Bryce Young just isn't ready to get over that hump yet. So I'm going to stick with the Bucs. Joe Burrow coming back. I'm going to still stick with the Ravens. I think you've been out too long, my guy. Let's take a rest. Your defense is still trash. You might as well just hang it up for the rest of the year if I'm Joe Burrow. And J.J. McCarthy, I'm just not sold on him. Right? I think the Vikings definitely should look in and trying to get another quarterback. At least come and compete with the guy. He's still young. He still has some time to grow, but let's get some more competition before we say he's the guy. And that's, the backup quarterback is crucial. We've seen how it can make or break seasons and kind of keep you afloat. You want a guy that can keep you afloat, and sometimes a guy that can give you that spark. None of these teams have it, so it's bad to have a bad injury from the quarterback position, especially this late.
Yeah, but okay, JJ McCarthy, is this it for him? Like, do we think they see a future with JJ McCarthy? Because right now the stats don't show it, right? And then we're not even talking about this isn't his rookie year. He was hurt all year. So now we're already going to be going to year 3, and this is the film we have. If you are the Minnesota Vikings GM, what do you do?
If you are the Vikings GM, Adolfo Mensa, right? That's his name, Adolfo Mensa, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Adolfo Mensa, you got to go get a quarterback, like Chris said, even just for competition. I mean, I don't know what Jameis Winston's deal at the Giants is, but that's the guy I'm thinking of, right? Somebody who can come in and either push him or teach him how to be a leader. What I also see in J.J. McCarthy is a young player who knows what to do but doesn't know how to lead a huddle with Justin Jefferson, right? And things like that. So you got to also take it. Every quarterback has to play above their station and lead above their station before they earn it. But the problem is J.J. McCarthy's hesitating with the football. If you miss Justin Jefferson in a pass, you did something wrong, not him. He's open and he can adjust in the air. So you had to miss bad. And if you miss enough to get an interception, well, now you got some real problems. So I think you get J.J. McCarthy, a mental performance coach. You have him talk out the issues he's going through, because pretty soon, if not now, you have a Vikings locker room that has your star receiver either not talking to the quarterback or talking very sparsely to the quarterback. And that's something that everybody can feel in the locker room.
Hey, he's feeling the heat over there. As I go and look at JJ's numbers, Jetta's numbers, I think he has like 4 touchdowns. He's not close to 1,000, right? And we all know when that number one guy isn't getting the rock, it's hard to see all laughs and smiles over there on the offensive side. They have no run game. It's when the Vikings are doing good, Cook was running all over teams, right? They don't have that right now. Jones hasn't been very healthy this season. It's tough over there with the Vikings. All they have is a great defense right now. So JJ, you need some more competition. Like you said, Jameis Winston, a guy that's a vet that's going to push him and teach him the game too.
Yeah,
he does need that. Because right now he doesn't seem like he's a player's guy. I don't know. I haven't been in the locker room with him, but outside looking in, he looks like, eyes are wide open. He looks kind of spooked sometimes. So that's just my evaluation on JJ. They might love him over there.
Yeah.
Right. We never know. But if we look at the body language, I don't think so right now.
When your star receiver has his head back, walking to the sidelines, that's not a good conversation that's about to happen.
Yeah.
No, it's a struggle, but we're going to see. But right there, that will probably determine, what's going to happen. Is how happy is Justin Jefferson? Is he going to try to demand himself to get out of there soon?
Yeah, you can't.
Because if that's the case, hey, we're going to bring in just like an Indianapolis coach situation where you bring in Daniel Jones in. Another quarterback who's floating around right now, which we keep hearing about, is a Mac Jones. Which wouldn't be surprising to go to a Kevin O'Connell to get some work in. So with that type of situation, you got to think, what type of player do you have? Do you have someone that's going to fold, or are you going to have someone that's actually going to take use that competition and become better? And so you got to obviously know what type of player you have, but we'll see. But that's what's going to have to happen in Minnesota, because they have no direction right now. They're going to have to go younger in a couple different positions, and they're going to have to figure out some stuff. But I'm a big believer that you got to bring some competition in to get the best out of your young guys, because especially now in this NIL era, they don't do well with competition. and you know what I mean? They'll get up and just leave and transfer to another school. But we gotta find a way, and this is the difference with the NFL. You can't do that.
Can't do it.
So you got to go out there and actually find a way to compete and get the best out of you so that you go out there and win the games. Otherwise, your career won't be that long.
Well, let's roll the 4th down, boys. We got the Broncos heading out to the Washington Commanders. You got a schedule of the Commanders, Raiders, Packers, Jags. I think that Jags game is going to be a lot bigger than people think. Where do you see the Broncos going from here?
I see the Broncos winning 4 of the next 6. I don't know where those 2 losses come in. I would probably say the Chiefs and the Packers if I give them 2 losses. But winning 4 games out of that 6, that'll be a strong finish. You know, their Broncos play a playoff football style all year, playing tight defense, keeping the game and finishing strong in the fourth quarter. So I think they're definitely going to smack the Commanders, the Raiders, but it's just that Packers game. You know, that's going to be a tough game going against Love, who's played solid versus the Broncos. So I see them 4-6, finish top 3 in the AFC. And have a great chance in the playoffs. So it's definitely going to be interesting last 6 games. But the division's right there for the taking.
The only game that matters, no matter what they do, the only game that matters is that last game of the year. Because I'll tell you why. If they lose that game, they're going to lose the first round of this playoffs. It's just going to happen like that. They have to end the season strong. You have to go out there and beat the Chargers last game of the year and go into the playoffs smooth sailing. You cannot have a hiccup against the Chargers the last game of the year and then expect to go into the playoffs and to start dominating teams. You don't want to have to deal with those problems. We all know being hot in the NFL is a real thing. Being the hot team in the NFL is a real thing. Clicking on offense is a real thing. So no matter what they do, I believe, just like Chris said, I believe they will win 4 of these games. The most important game, though, and the game they cannot lose, is that last game of the year. That will set off everything in a negative way for the playoffs. Now, if they win that game against the Chargers, we will see how far this team can go. Like this is like Chris said, they pretty much already play kind of a playoff football type of style anyway, because their offense has been struggling. So they've been leaning more on the defense and pack your defense. That's what I always say. Pack your defense. That's what it's going to take for you to win in the playoffs. If they win this game against the Chargers, the sky's the limit.
See,
if they lose that game against the Chargers, we don't know what's going to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost first round.
See, I think that the Jaguars game and the Chiefs game are big because, number one, that Jags team, they're going to the playoffs one way or another, I think. I mean, when your offensive linemen are screaming because they pancake somebody in the end zone and you got a 20-yard run for a touchdown, like that's a tough team to beat, man. You get defensive players. When the offensive line is having fun giving high fives, it's a bad day for you. It's a real bad day, right? And then the thing for me is the Chiefs game on Christmas night. That's a mentality game because that's going to be an opportunity to put the Chiefs out of the playoffs, even though you're already in the playoffs. And if the Broncos can do that, to me, there's not a team in the AFC that can be comfortable facing the Broncos.
Oh, nobody's comfortable facing the Broncos. When you have a defense that's at the sack record as a team, we talk about Myles Garrett individually, but they're doing it as a group. All over. Even the DBs are getting sacks. What we see with J-Mac, all those guys are bringing pressure. So nobody wants to see them 4 quarters. But the Jaguars is going to be, and they're going to need to beat the Broncos. The Chiefs game is going to be crucial because we are like Shelby said earlier, it's a playoff game every week for these guys, right? So, and same thing could be with the Chargers, right? They want to have a nice seed. They still haven't solidified themselves as being a playoff team. They've been too inconsistent all season. So let's see if they're going to finish strong. I say 4 out of 6 games. That's solid, right? With their schedule coming up, right? It's hard to win 6 for 6 in the NFL, but the way their offense is playing and the way the defense is having such a great year, I see them winning 4 out of 6, 3-3. I don't see the 6-0 coming from the Broncos.
No, but the one thing though is what I do love about this Broncos team though is I would not be surprised if they went 6-0 because of the way that defense is playing. That defense is balling their asses off, and right there, that could give you an easy 6-0 right there. And honestly, the one team I'd be most worried about would be the Raiders because it's a trap game. Yeah. Everybody got to be worried about the trap game because, as you just saw, the Raiders' O-line is struggling. We just put up 10 sacks on them. They're struggling. The Broncos, their best part of their teams are their trenches, the O-line and the D-line. So don't be surprised, though, if the Raiders just come up and they don't care. They have nothing to lose at this point. So that's the scariest teams to worry about. Those are the scariest ones to worry about. The guys that have nothing to worry about.
We're going to overtime, boys. It's the unofficial, official offensive lineman's holiday Thanksgiving gobble. All right, boys, what are we eating for Thanksgiving? What are the 2 must-haves for the Harrises on Thanksgiving?
Well, I can tell you the one that's not going to be on my table or not on my plate. My wife is going to make it. I'm not going to eat it. I don't eat turkey. Boo. The worst
on,
food
man.
you could ever ask somebody to eat is that dry-ass turkey you're trying to serve on Thanksgiving. You know what I make? I'll tell you what I make. I make probably the best thing you could ever ask for on Thanksgiving, a prime rib.
Come on,
A
man.
prime rib. I'm talking about a beautifully seasoned, cooked, perfect marble. I'm talking about prime rib, the best cut of meat there is out there. The prime rib. And then, of course, see, I'm different. I like mac and cheese, of course. Like, that's my big thing, mac and cheese. But I like green bean casserole. I mean, I love me a good green bean casserole with the crunchy onions on top of it. You want the way to my heart? There it is.
Turkey? Come on now. You got to have the nice roasted turkey.
That's why you were defensive lineman, dog. You couldn't survive in an O-line room talking that craziness. It's just one thing if you vegan, but just to choose not turkey on Thanksgiving. Come on, man.
I'll do a ham.
See, we declined the swine over here. See, now he's getting disrespectful. He's getting disrespectful.
Now, I do miss the ham because, I can't eat it no more. I haven't ate ham in like 7 years.
Good, man.
But I do miss it. I definitely miss it. The wife used to make it very juicy. She used to put like a little pineapples on top of it.
Oh, the honey glazed type
yeah.
joint.
Yeah, it was different, man. So I do miss that. No more pork these days. But you got to have the mashed potatoes and gravy too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mix that in with the turkey. You don't do that, Shelby? You never done that? That's where you get some of the extra flavor.
Come on, man.
Right,
see, like, you gotta let the meat talk for itself. You shouldn't have to add everything else on top of the meat to make it taste somewhat not like paper.
Oh, so when you eat your Thanksgiving meal, your food don't touch, huh? You got one of those, You got one of those slider
so the things that do touch, I do like if the mashed potatoes and gravy and the mac and cheese the gravy kind of joins in together. We're talking magic here. And the green bean casserole, you throw a couple of those crispy onions from the green bean casserole, and they just make their way into your mashed potatoes. We might be talking more magic here. Like, I'm fat. Like, don't do that. I am a fat man at heart. You know what I mean? I had to work really hard to gain all this weight, so it turned me into a true fat man at heart. And so, like, literally, like, sometimes when that food just meshes together, you talk about magic, baby. Magic.
Hey, man, put it in a bowl when you get seconds. Be an old lineman. Hey, for me, you got to have the turkey, and you got to have sweet potato pie. And if you haven't had sweet potato pie, I'm mad at all your friends. Everybody should know what sweet potato pie is. It's not like pumpkin pie. Go get a sweet potato pie and really experience Thanksgiving.
I have a confession. I hate sweet potato pie.
Come on, man.
What about cherry cheesecake?
This is egregious
I like
now.
cheesecake.
This is egregious now. This man doesn't like sweet potato pie. To be honest, I've never met a black person that doesn't like sweet potato pie. So you got to explain yourself now.
Well, honestly, it's crazy because it was at every cookout. Every single one of my family had it. I never tasted at all. Like, I'm a sweet potato person also. I'm not a big sweet potato pie person. If I on the table, apple pie.
See,
a good old apple pie.
Come on. Move on the other side of the room. We let you sit for the rest of the week by yourself on that side of the room. We'd be three at a table talking about, I'm not sitting next to Shelby Harris with that crazy talk. Come on,
apple
man.
Apple pie, baby. Apple pie.
Well, happy Thanksgiving from us to you. And we're the Harrises.